What? From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Several people here in Butte are going to share their stories about living with a disability, but the message they're going to deliver is a positive one.
And we bring you the latest on a local group pushing for housing reforms in Bozeman. But the question, do they think they're getting the attention of local lawmakers?
6:31 on this Wednesday. Chet Lehman, Jane McDonald, Matt Elbow with you here. Quite a few clouds in the sky there over the mining city. Not nearly as cloudy here in the Gallup Valley right now. That's kind of the case last night as well.
Yeah.
Lots of clouds dumping lots of rain on you.
Yeah, we had some flooding in several areas, and we talked about the possibility of some localized flooding.
Right.
I've got some photos share that really drive that home.
Wow.
Perfect.
What to look for.
Can't wait to see it.
Temperatures, I think we all have a pretty good idea, though. We've seen it once or twice. 40s and 50s for the morning. Looks like this is going to be one of those days where our temperatures are ratcheting up pretty quickly through the early afternoon. Pop-up showers and thunderstorms as you get into the mid-afternoon as well. A few of these could be on the heavier side. That's the high-resolution graphics there showing you what the model runs look like. Afternoon thunder showers, it's going to be widely scattered across the area. Flooding concerns continue. I'm going to break it all down for you coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you very much, Matt. Now, the realities of living with a disability are hard to grasp, especially if you have never seen those effects up close.
Now, MTN's John Amy introduces us to a special program that is helping some do that.
In the East Middle School auditorium, 10 people are going to share their stories about living with a disability. But the most important message they want to deliver:
people with disabilities, they can work or they can do basically anything they put their minds to.
The Orphan Girl Children's Theater and Ability Montana are hosting a show called Let's Talk Disabilities Butte to let people with various disabilities share their struggles and, more importantly, their ability to overcome them.
I can do this and I will do this, and the only person stopping me is myself. And I am learning to just tear down that wall to say, I will do this.
For some, speaking before a crowd of strangers is no problem. Are you nervous? You must not.
No, this doesn't bother me at all. I've been doing some form of public speaking off and on since I was little.
Lucy is a 16-year-old Butte High student who is comfortable talking about her disabilities. Her parents are proud at how far she has come.
Families that have children of normal abilities sometimes don't realize what a victory it is, what small victories are. It took us almost 2 years just for Lucy to sit up on her own as a child. And that was a huge victory. You know, being able to move her left hand and to, do things with her left arm, that was a huge victory.
Another purpose of the event is to let employers know that disabled people can make great employees.
We're pretty normal. We just need accommodations, but accommodations do need to be given, and that's a big part of our struggle as a disabled person.
Performances are June 8th and 9th at 6 o'clock in the evening. Tickets are $10. In Butte, John Amy, MTN News.
Lucy, a very articulate 16-year-old.
Absolutely.
I think that's
and
awesome.
Her mom, completely right. It's the little victories that really
I love that.
propel you a long way in life.
Great story.
Really special. Okay, now focusing on the national scene, the race for the White House getting even more crowded this week, with former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie joining the race yesterday and former Vice President Mike Pence, as well as the current governor of North Dakota, making it official today.
Yeah, our Joe St. George looks at who benefits from a crowded field, as well as the work the new candidates have to do so they can qualify for that first debate in August.
Christie last ran for president in 2016. He served as governor of New Jersey from 2010 through 2018. He will be one of 3 candidates expected to join the race in the next 24 hours. Former Vice President Mike Pence has filed, and he will make his announcement official Wednesday in Iowa. And North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum is set to make a special announcement in North Dakota on Wednesday as well. Who benefits from a crowded field, a crowded race for the Republican nomination? Well, the last time over 10 candidates were in the Republican race for president was 2016. Former President Donald Trump secured that nomination. Most political analysts here in Washington say there are probably 3 lanes to the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee, Wisconsin next summer. Former President Donald Trump currently occupying lane 1. He has a 30-point lead when you look at Real Clear Politics polling averages. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has been in second place consistently, but still well behind former President Donald Trump. And then you have the other candidate lane, and that's the lane that has gotten extremely crowded in recent weeks and will become even more crowded by the end of this week. As far as the next big moment in this race for president, it's likely the next presidential debate, the first presidential debate here in the 2024 presidential cycle. That is slated to take place in late August over the course of at least one night. It could be 2 nights if the field is deemed too crowded, if the stage is too packed. August 23rd's event in Milwaukee, Wisconsin will be hosted by the Republican National Committee, will air on Fox News. You will need at least 1% in the polls consistently in order to qualify, as well as at least 40,000 contributors. Fundraising and polling is how a candidate will qualify for the debate in late August at the White House. Joe St. George, Scripps News, Washington.
Oh, so much more to follow.
Here we go. Buckle up.
We're in. There's nothing we can do about it now.
Here we go. Election season is upon us, people. Well, focusing a little bit closer to home, a local group pushing for housing reform says it's not getting the proper attention from state lawmakers.
Our Edgar Cedillo was at a rally on Monday as the members continue to push for change here in Bozeman.
Bozeman Tenants United held a rally here on Monday night where they say after a disappointing end to a legislative session where they hoped to get more housing reform, their focus now shifts heavily on the city of Bozeman, where they expect city leaders to enact housing reform when it comes to Type 2 and Type 3 short-term rentals.
We're building tenant power here. We're pushing the commissioners to ban second home short-term rentals, and we actually can win it, and is the first step.
State Representatives Buckley and Zephyr from Bozeman and Missoula were on hand sharing their frustrations with the lack of rental policy from the 68th session, but their excitement for change that's being pushed at the local level across the state.
We protected landlords in many different ways. What we did not do is pass a single piece of legislation that benefited renters.
You know, we have tenants unions in this state. We have some in Bozeman, we have Missoula, and others across the state.
For months, Bozeman Tenants United has been pushing the city of Bozeman for housing reform. They say that they were hopeful for something to come out of Helena, but after a disappointing session, their focus is back heavily at City Hall.
Our community union, we really believe that many more people are concerned about affordable housing in Bozeman, in Missoula, in rural communities.
The city of Bozeman has already held one study session on short-term rentals already. The tenants union had asked city commissioners to hold one before May, but commissioners preferred to wait until after the 68th session.
People sometimes want things done immediately. I would like that too, but there is a process, and we try really hard to make sure that we're being responsive to asks and needs of people who live in Bozeman, and also following some of the things that we just have to do procedurally.
City commissioners say that they did commit to holding another session regarding this issue this summer, which the group had some frustrations with it not being soon enough.
Take up space in public comment and holding bigger and more public events to get more of the public who's on our side to continue putting the pressure on them.
The city says that they'll have a work session regarding short-term rentals sometime in August. We'll of course stay on top of it. In Bozeman, Edgar Cedillo, MTN News.
Thank you, Edgar, for staying on top of these past couple of days.
Absolutely.
All right, more to follow on that one for sure. But in the meantime, a Terry, Montana woman is recovering after a life-saving procedure to repair multiple brain aneurysms.
Yeah, a new device at St. Vincent Hospital in Billings allowed surgeons to operate here in Montana instead of her having to travel to Salt Lake or Denver. MTN's Charlie Klepp has her story.
This operating room at St. Vincent's Healthcare is home to some revolutionary neurotechnology, and since it arrived here in just September, it's already began changing lives.
I was absolutely terrified.
75-year-old Fran Fleckenstein was not prepared for the news she got last September. During a CAT scan for a different medical concern, doctors found 4 brain aneurysms.
Well, it actually scared me to death because I've known people that have died of brain aneurysms.
There's never a good time to hear that, but new technology at St. Vincent's had arrived just before her diagnosis, and it fit perfectly with her ideal procedure.
After visiting with Dr. Khan, I felt more reassured. He told me that if I was his mother, he would tell me to go ahead and have this procedure.
When I saw the aneurysms, I saw the non-invasive imaging, I knew that she needed treatment and repair.
The new technology helps doctors perform non-invasive surgeries and also allows for 3D imaging of the brain. In the past, Fleckenstein would have been sent to Salt Lake or Denver for this type of procedure, especially given her age.
I think it's game-changing and life-changing for the greater Montana community. To be able to achieve tertiary care level care here at St. V's is a landmark for this community.
Today, 3 of Fleckenstein's 4 aneurysms are completely gone, and the 4th has shrunk substantially. It makes walking back into the operating room on Monday all that more emotional.
Well, I'm so glad that I am able to walk in here and able to view the room when I am fully conscious. I guess I owe my life to him.
You cannot not get emotional because we are invested in our patient's care. The look on the patient's face is what makes it all worthwhile.
And Fleckenstein couldn't be more grateful.
He wanted to take care of the problem that I had, and I really respect him for that. He's my hero. He's awesome.
In Billings, Charlie Kleps, MTN News.